Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of In the Cup. And some people say that this is the saddest Monday of the year. And I will say I do feel a little empty inside. I was pummeled with basketball games, with golf tournaments, with tennis all weekend, and now there's nothing. And it is a little sad.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the sports of it all, Amanda, can we talk about my husband and the world tour?
The world tour.
If you don't know what we're talking about, and if you don't know which husband I'm referring to, because I have many, we are referring to Justin Timberlake. We went to his world tour, the Forget Tomorrow world tour. Yes. We went to, well, Amanda did not go. She ended up not coming with us. But Brittany and I and one of our other friends, we went to the Forum in Los Angeles to watch the tour. And I think it was after the LA one.
Yeah.
Justin got in a little bit of an incident in Sag Harbor, Long Island, a little DUI incident. And I will just preface with, don't drink and drive, people. We're not condoning any sort of driving under the influence. But Brittany and I were going to the same tour in Boston, and this happened a couple of weeks before, so we were unsure if the world tour was going to continue. The body cam footage had not been released, and there was rumblings about it being released recently, and Justin was trying to not have it be released because he thought it would cause irreparable harm to his reputation. But I'm not sure if it had that effect. But when I watched the body cam footage, when I was watching the cop give him the instructions, I got confused.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been able to pass that thing sober.
Probably not, because I can't really walk in a straight line anyway.
Valid.
But he was clearly so messed up. Like,
Yeah.
he...
And his eyes are all big and glazy.
Yeah, he wasn't
not great.
slurring his words totally. So I don't think it was
Yeah.
just alcohol. I think there were other substances.
It took him a while to formulate his thoughts.
Correct.
For sure.
I mean, he couldn't... The guy asked, the police officer asked, well, what is the world tour? Can you explain it to me? And he's like, the world tour, man. I'm like, bro, like, listen, Justin, I love you and I will always support you. But there's a lot of fans out there of Britney Spears that do not like Justin.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah, the whole Janet Jackson thing, the rumors that he was cheating on his wife in like New Orleans
in the car.
Like, he doesn't have a good track record.
Yeah.
Would probably still go to his next tour if he ever has one. Preface that there. But yikes.
You have to make smarter decisions.
Yes. You have so much money.
Get a driver.
Also, if you ask anyone to drive you home, they'd be like, yeah, sure, man. You're Justin Timberlake. Hop in. I got you, boo. I'll drive you home.
The highlight for me was when under his photo or whatever, they asked to write his ethnicity or description. And they wrote white, and he was like, white? And he was joking, obviously, because he is white. But that was a highlight for me. But yes,
he was like, is
I
this
think
the same process you go through with for everybody? Like, yes, you were.
And when they put him in the cell,
yeah,
when they put him in the cell by himself, and they were like, you're gonna have to stay here overnight, and he was like, I have to sleep here, and it was just the lonely wooden bench with the toilet. It was a full toilet, though. It wasn't just a hole in the ground, so that's positive.
I mean, you're in the Hamptons. They're gonna have a nice toilet, even if it's in jail.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways.
It's not good. It doesn't look good, but I also don't know, like, did he already get his sentencing from that? Or does he have...
I think so.
His hearing coming up?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if it would change anything now that it's out. Like, now that Well,
they must have seen it already.
Right.
It's just now being released to the public. Whatever courts or bodies that be must have already seen it. But, sir, you are 45 years old. We just have to, at this point, just make the smarter decisions.
Please.
But again, I have loved you since I was 12. You are a flawed man. This we know. Just don't go putting people's lives in danger, including your
No.
own. And
No.
let's just step it up a little
Let's
bit.
get home safe, please.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Not being a very good role model for the two boys, but
yeah.
he can turn it around. I will give him a
Yeah.
second chance. Or
Agree.
third or fourth.
On that note, with a sad situation, I'm sure you've seen the stories of the University of Alabama student that was found in Spain and not putting it's spring break. You know, kids will be kids, but just a PSA, and girls do it very well. Travel in packs.
Yes.
Go with each other to the bathroom. Make sure your friends get home. They come home at
Mm,
night. And again, I know it's spring break. We're kids. We do things.
yes.
I've been on spring break. There are Cabo stories out there.
Yes.
We won't rehash them, but
No,
there are
we're gonna leave
stories.
it in Cabo.
Yeah. But just if you're out there, especially in a foreign country, just take
Yes.
care of your friends. Take care
Please.
of your friends. That's our
Never.
spring break message.
Yes. Take care of each other. Don't go anywhere alone.
Yeah.
Just don't. It's not
Especially
fun to go to the bathroom by yourself when you're on a friend's trip anyway. Always have someone with you. And share
don't
your
take things from strangers.
locations.
Yeah, don't take things from strangers. Don't take
Mm-mm.
drinks, but just take
Be
care of your
careful.
friends, guys. Yeah, be careful. Have fun, but be careful. Well, now that we're done with the PSAs, let's get into the madness of it all. This past weekend was truly March Madness. We'll start with Duke, #1 overall seed. It was a dicey Thursday. I was on pins and needles the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
The boys were looking a little shaky. And yes, they are the #1 overall seed, but let's not forget that all of the starting 5 are freshmen. So,
Yeah.
big stage for these guys, even though they've won some pretty major games all year. But tournament's a little different. Tournament vibes are a little different. They rolled past TCU the other day, so we're on the up and up. But we have
Yes.
a big match against St. John's coming up on Friday. So hopefully we'll get it together a little bit.
Yeah.
Amanda picking St. John's, very upset
I
with
know.
you
It's
about that.
really listen, we couldn't have the same winners for our brackets, but I
Yeah,
also
this is
have
true.
like 4 other ones and I have Duke in 2 of them.
Okay.
So,
Acceptable.
but yeah, no, after that game is going to be it's really going to make or break one of our brackets,
It will
literally.
completely shatter mine.
Yeah.
So, day 1, I was flying high. I only had 1 game wrong
Yeah.
at the end of Thursday. My bracket was ranked like 4,000 out of the 26
Mhm.
million brackets that were submitted. But that only meant one thing, that Friday was going to be as diabolical as it comes, because I
Yep.
think I got 5 or 6 wrong. There were a couple games yesterday, the Vandy Nebraska game, which was a great
Yeah, that
game,
was a really good game.
but I picked Vanderbilt
Of
and
course.
they did not win. But that last shot, that 3 that rattled in and out, that was close.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Nebraska, because it was their first tournament win in men's history. The women have won in the
Yeah.
past, but this was the first win for the men's. So congratulations to them. UNC,
Whew.
not the same results in the first
No.
round. And I would be a bad Duke fan if I didn't harp on the fact that UNC gave up a large double-digit lead to lose in the first round. And if you look at my bracket, I think I was an ACC hater. Besides
Yeah.
Virginia, who I picked to move on, and they lost
Mhm.
the other day, so they ruined my bracket. But
Of course.
I had Miami losing, I had Clemson losing, I had UNC losing. So besides Duke, I guess I don't like the
Yeah.
ACC so much. And your Royals, unfortunately,
Yeah.
didn't make it past Purdue.
They didn't.
okay.
It's fine. It was fun. It was a good time that they were even part of the tournament. But
Yeah,
the first half was good. The second half was not
not so good.
and completely got away from them. So yeah, now I'm just rooting for unfortunately St. John's
Yeah,
just because I have them winning my bracket.
yeah,
New Yorker forever.
it's okay.
But it will be really cool if Duke beats them because obviously North Carolina.
I thought about it. I was like, do I want to go to Washington, D.C. to watch these games? But I don't think it's
know.
going to be possible, but
Isn't
it's
that
okay.
crazy? Like, if Queens made it to the next round, which
hmm
obviously was not going to happen, the game was going to be in California. I'm like completely opposite end of the country. So I just
hmm
how do they go about picking locations for the different regions? Like, is there any
Well, the locations in the regions are fine. It's just that the way that they end up putting teams in the regions,
Mhm.
that some of the teams end up traveling pretty far. But
Yeah.
I think the men have it fine. It's the women who
Yeah.
don't have it great because they have less locations just because of the size
Mhm.
of the tournament. So sometimes they're playing on the other side of the country for a few days. So they definitely don't have as much of an advantage. They have more of a
Yeah.
disadvantage if you end up playing on the other side of the country. Just
Yeah.
because with the men's, again, there's so many more locations because of the nature of the tournament. But yeah, I thought about it, but I don't think we're gonna be able to make it happen this year, folks.
Mm-mm.
We also had a number one seed go down over the weekend. Florida, the defending NCAA champions, went down. See you later, alligator. Had to, had to
That's a
throw
good
that one
one.
in. Yeah. We have 9 returning Sweet 16 teams, 7 new ones. The Big Ten, we mentioned Nebraska. The Big Ten has 6 teams in the Sweet 16 this year, which is higher than usual. Normally it's ACC, SEC dominated, but the Big Ten
Yeah.
making some waves this year. And all number 9 seeds advanced this year for the first time, tournament history.
Interesting.
Yeah, which no one ever, everyone always says the 8-9 is not an upset game, but
Yeah.
notable for this
It
year, I
is.
guess.
For sure. I feel like it's been good games, and I feel like the teams have been really, really good this year. I am not surprised that majority of the returning Sweet 16 are literally just returning. Like, that's not a
Yeah,
surprise. I
it's the
feel like
powerhouse
those are
teams.
always
Yeah.
yeah, those are always the powerhouse schools that come in and dominate, minus Florida and UNC this year.
On the women's side, not too many big upsets. I think there were a couple of Virginia and Syracuse were a couple of the lower seeds that
Mhm.
advanced. But on the women's side, it's usually there's not as many upsets on the women's side. I think because you
No.
have those powerhouse teams, the UConns, the UCLAs, the LSUs, the South Carolinas that typically make it through. But I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. We've talked about before the one and done situation. Anyone who knows me or has known me for a while knows that I love college basketball. College
Mhm.
basketball was my life in the late
Mhm.
in the late night. I was gonna say late 1900s. It was the late
I mean, it was.
1900s, but the late 90s, early 2000s, obviously huge Duke fan. But I will say in the last decade or so, I haven't watched a lot of college basketball. And last week we talked about it with Gina, like the storylines, right? And the
Mhm.
players and the teams that you follow. With the one and dones, it's been so much harder to follow your teams because you're not connecting to the players because they
Yeah.
come in for one season, they leave. I can't keep track of the starting lineups because they switch up every year. Love the era where I'm watching, Jason Williams, Shane Battier, JJ Redick, even Grayson Allen play
Mhm.
for 3 or 4 years, and you can follow their journey through college, and you can follow these lineups and things like that. But I haven't been able to do that the last decade or so because of the one and done. I was doing a little research, and so LeBron James got drafted in 2003, right out of high school. They implemented the one and done rule starting the 2006 draft. So players like Kevin Durant couldn't,
Mhm.
like, he could have gone to the 2006 draft, but he couldn't because of the one and done. So he played at Texas for 1 year and then went to the 2007 draft.
Okay.
Duke hasn't won a national championship since 2015. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
So the one and done for Duke kind of it started really with Kyrie Irving, who came in after that 2010 season. And then
Mhm.
after that, the dominoes started to fall, right? It was Kyrie Irving, Austin Rivers, Tyus Jones, Jason Tatum, all the
Yeah.
way up to Cooper Flag this
Okay.
past year. And then I was thinking, so again, I mentioned they haven't won a national championship since 20. I went down a very big rabbit
Yeah.
hole here.
I'm so here
Um,
for it.
yeah. So they haven't won since 2015, but I was kind of thinking about it compared to corporate America now. So what's the biggest thing that corporate America is doing right now? What's the biggest initiative right now for all of these corporate companies? Mine's going through it right now. Yours went through it. The return to office.
Say mobility and coming back to the office,
Yeah.
having
And
consistency.
what's the main reason behind return to office? It's relationship building,
Mhm. The
culture.
camaraderie.
Yeah. So I was thinking about it in terms of college basketball,
Mhm.
and Duke consistently has the top recruited team every year, at least top 3 recruiting class come in.
Yeah.
But they haven't won a national championship in 10 years. And I was thinking, because all these kids are coming in, but they don't
Mhm.
have the time within that season to really bond and figure out the team dynamic, to really
Yeah.
figure out the culture. And in 2015, they did have 3 freshmen on that team, but they weren't
Okay.
projected to win that year. Kentucky was, because they had the undefeated season. But
Okay.
I feel like 2015 was an exception because Tyus Jones
Mhm.
and the other guy, Jahlil Okafor, who came in with him, they were a package deal. They played together in high school. So even though they were
Mhm.
freshmen, they already
They
had
still had
that
that bond.
bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't really have to figure out the chemistry there. And again, Kentucky got upset by Wisconsin in the Final Four. So it was a little bit of a fluke, not to say they weren't a good team, but again, they weren't projected to win that year.
Yeah.
And then to further go down this rabbit hole, I was looking at the last 5 national championship winners. 2020, obviously, there wasn't a Final Four.
Right.
So if you look at, so last year, Florida, back-to-back UConn, Kansas,
Mhm.
and Baylor, all of those teams, only the one UConn team had 1 freshman on their team. All of the other teams had mostly juniors and seniors on their team with a couple of sophomores, no freshmen.
Well, that
So,
tells you a lot right there.
yeah. So I think,
Mhm.
and I was looking at the women's side too, and the women, they haven't implemented the one and done yet. They're thinking about it, but Gino
Okay.
Ariama has come out and said that the one and done is going to completely
Mhm.
trash women's
Yeah.
basketball. But I don't think the women have as much of an incentive either, mainly because of the salary discrepancy. If you
Mhm.
think about like the women players, especially now with Nil, they'll make more money in college than they do
Yeah.
in the WNBA. Um, Caitlin Clark, when she left Iowa, she had
Mhm.
about $3.5 million in sponsorship money. Same with like Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, they had
Mhm.
about $1.5 million in sponsorship
Wild.
money. And if you look at in 2024, when Caitlin Clark got drafted into the WNBA, she got drafted on a 4-year, it was like $330,000 deal. You
Mhm.
wanna know what the equivalent is for who got drafted number 1 in the NBA that year?
How much?
Was a First of all, it was a French player. It wasn't even a college player. It was a French player.
Okay.
Same 4-year deal, $52 million deal, which is about $12 million a year. Caitlin
Uh-huh.
Clark in 2025 made her, I think her base was 78,000 and she made like 110 with bonuses. But guess how much her sponsorship money was last year compared to that 78,000 base salary?
4 million?
16 million. And I saw a stat this morning, coincidentally enough, that female athletes, 80 to 90% of their income for the year will
Mhm.
come from sponsorship deals, not
Of
from their
course.
base salaries.
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully that'll all change with this recent deal that they made, which should
Yeah.
increase their salaries by a lot. But going back to the one and done point, it's
Yeah.
just, and I understand the NCAA is a business, right? And
Yeah.
that's where the whole nil thing came into play. And I know that from a money standpoint, a lot of these players who
Mhm.
opt to go to the NBA, it's life-changing money, right? They'll be able to
Yeah.
support their families for years and years and years to come. But just speaking from a fan perspective, the one
Mhm.
and done just kind of made me lose a little luster in
Yeah.
watching college basketball because I don't have the storylines. I don't have, those
Mhm.
attachments anymore that I used
Yeah.
to.
No,
So,
and I feel like before that, you would describe a team as, "Oh, it's just a junior team. They're just really new." But
mhm,
give them a year or 2 and they'll be great. Like, with that, you don't give them a year or 2. Like, you're
yeah.
always having a new team. You're not able to, like you said, build those relationships and have that camaraderie unless you go and recruit people who played on the same teams or were
Hmm.
friends growing up or something like that. But that how often do they do that? Not
Yeah.
often. So it'll be interesting. It's like a whole new generation of
Yeah. It's a
sports.
business now.
Yeah.
It's not, and I think college basketball has a little bit of luxury in having the bond through an alma mater, right?
Right.
I didn't go to Duke, but I've been a Duke fan since the late 90s, but
Mhm.
for the big schools, even like a Queens, right?
Yeah.
Like you probably haven't been watching college basketball too much, but since Queens made it and you're an alumni,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
all in it. You had your friends,
Mhm.
go to the bar and watch the game.
Mhm.
So college basketball has a little bit of an edge where you're going to have that loyalty because of the alma mater,
Yep.
but it's not because you love this player so much. Like
Mm-mm.
JJ Redick is another one of my husbands, and
Mhm.
I was in love with that Duke team because of
Mhm.
JJ Redick. And I followed JJ through his NBA career, now his
You sure
coaching
did.
career, even his freaking podcast
Yep.
I followed. So just having, again, that connection to a player, that storyline, So I don't know. I don't think it's going to get any better, especially now with the transfer
No.
portal and players moving
Yeah.
all over the place. But I feel like it's hard for coaches too. Like, what do you sell? Even if you're a John Shire with Duke,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess he has the luxury of saying, hey, we're going to get 3 other top recruits in, and we have a chance at a national championship. Duke
Mhm.
has the ability to say that. But if you're
Yeah.
talking about a mid-major team, what is the sell year after year if you're
Right.
losing players, you know?
Just to be able to say that you played on this team, are they gonna be able to continue to build the brand and have
Mhm.
it to that statute if
Mhm.
they only have people coming one and done?
Yeah. And for Duke, last year was the closest that they've come to winning another national championship.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking if you can't win with that team, with Cooper Flag and Colin
Yeah.
Knueppel, who are neck and neck for Rookie of the Year in the NBA this year, and
Mhm.
Tyrese Proctor, if you can't win with that squad, if they win
Yeah.
this year, it'll be, again, it'll be awesome. I will love it.
Yeah, of course.
But it'll be another, I think, weird
Mhm.
anomaly. But you also have the Boozer twins who have been tied together since the womb. They have
Literally.
literally, yeah. So they have that
Yeah.
bond. I will still support Duke, watch college
Yeah.
basketball, but again, I'm not as invested as I was 20 years
Mhm.
ago, let's just say.
Well, and I feel like it's introducing, being able to put in bets virtually
Mm,
now from almost
yeah.
everywhere, like, that I feel like that's changed the game too. This is really, like, the first time where I was like, "Hmm, game's gonna tip off soon. I'm gonna go put in a bet." Like,
That's true.
I don't do it often, but, like, I'm able to because it's legal in my state, and across the country, you see commercials all the
Not in
time.
California.
Well, Southern California. But, like, I see commercials all the time for DraftKings, for this, for that, and, like, it's just that's our society now, and I feel like that plays into it too because,
hmm
oh, well, I can't if I'm not building the camaraderie with the players, I'm still gonna have that loyalty to the team, and I'm gonna put 50 on them, and I feel like that's changed at the end of the day, money has changed all of it. You're
Yeah.
gambling, the one and done you can go and, declare, the portal, like, all of these things
And
have
it's so much
really.
easier to do all of it too with all of the technology
Yeah.
these days. So, yeah, I agree. I don't know what the future will hold, but we've seen such a big
Mhm.
shift just in the last decade, and I think that's what's causing problems in the NBA now too, right? With the referees, the players throwing games, these big mob rings of players who are just throwing games and betting, and it's taking out the innocence of the sports, let's just say.
People are being selfish. They
Yeah.
want the money for themselves. I'll still watch, but
Yeah. But go Duke, Sweet 60.
yeah, yeah. Listen, I feel like you will be able to look back and be like, "Ugh, back in my day, this was not even a thing." Like, it's just things are changing and things are whether not even for the better or for the worse, things are just changing.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it continues to change the sport down the line. I think for not only basketball, but for football too, right? I feel like we're starting to
Yeah,
see that
for all
more.
college sports.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
we'll see.
yeah. But I'll highlight once again, congratulations to the ladies, and hopefully the
Yeah.
salary changes will be for the better. And I think Gino's right with the WNBA, especially since it
Mhm.
hasn't had the visibility that the NBA has. Like
Yeah.
would you have watched would it have been a big of a deal for Caitlin Clark to get into the WNBA if you weren't following her story for 4 years? If you didn't
No.
see her grow through Iowa, even Paige Beckers, Angel Reese,
Mhm.
Sabrina Ionescu, like, would you
Yeah.
have, from a women's standpoint, would you have been so invested and would you have watched them? It'll hurt the WNBA too because people won't know
100%.
who's playing.
Yeah. I mean, I
Unfortunately, that's just the reality.
100%. And I just think back to, like, I went to high school with a girl who we were neighbors. We played basketball together when we were in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade before I quit because I stopped growing. But
Same.
she played, we obviously had that relationship, that friendship over the years. She went to
Mhm.
UConn, was a top scorer at UConn, but like I'm invested in her and her story. I'm invested in her partnerships and what she has coming out and the teams that she's on. And it's not because I'm, was a fan of, she was out west. I think it was like Seattle. She was on a team. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't know anything about Seattle sports, but I'm going to root for them because of that
Her.
relationship I have with her. So yeah, I think it's interesting, right? And then, you think about how do people's, especially with this generation coming through college, like their social media presence,
Mm.
how does that play into it too? If they're not only just an athlete, but they might have, 200,000 followers also that is able
Mhm.
to push what they're doing and their stats and their team to, that audience also. So it's has a lot more nuances now that I feel like we've just never had to deal with it before.
Yeah, agree. So we'll see what happens, but I'm looking forward to another week of college hoops because this year's tournament has been great so far, and I've definitely been
Mhm.
watching and been invested and hoping that Duke cuts down those nets in Indianapolis, but we'll see.
Mhm.
Getting to the golf
Yes.
updates in the live world, Bryson won for the second week in a row at the
Mhm.
live tournament in South Africa, and we don't watch live. I don't watch a lot of the live
Mm.
events, but apparently the South Africa event was hyped up. Like everyone was all about it. I saw the crowds, and there were a lot of crowds there.
Yeah.
It was another playoff too. He went into a playoff with John Rahm, which
Mhm.
was kind of crazy, and he was emotional this week. I think I didn't get the full story, but I think it might be the anniversary of his father's passing. I think that's why he had mentioned that he had some things off course that he was dealing with this past week. I don't know if
Yeah.
I can't confirm if that was it, but he was super emotional when he was giving his press conferences. But he did share a lot
Sweet
of fun
Bryson.
photos too. Photos with kangaroos and safari animals in South Africa. So Bryson is just continuing to live the dream between
Yeah.
live his YouTube endeavors. And
Yep.
have you watched the Break 50s with him yet on
No, I
YouTube?
haven't. I need to.
I watched the Steph Curry one, which is,
Mhm.
spoiler alert, the only one that he's broken 50 with. And then I watched the Carlos Alcaraz one too, because
Mm.
obviously I love tennis.
Obviously.
So,
Yeah.
but it's fun just to kind of see him and some of the other folks just drive around in a golf cart trying to break 50 and
Yeah.
have fun. So we'll see what happens with Bryson. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things percolating, especially with the live stuff contract and things coming to an end soon. But in the LPGA world, the ladies were
Yes.
back, the Fortinet Founders Cup, and this week was extra special because one, it was the first full field event of the season off of the
Mhm.
Asia Swing, but this tournament was to honor the 13 female founders of the LPGA, and they're celebrating their 75th. The LPGA is celebrating the 75th anniversary this year. But it was really cool to see some of the stories. Like everything else with women's things, these women had to come together and form a league because no one else would do it for them.
Yeah.
So they set the foundation for what is the current day LPGA, and I think the last surviving member passed away in 2024. They were all inducted recently into the Golf Hall of Fame too. And on the 13th hole, they actually, I don't know if it was the tournament or if it was one of that, because the Sharon Heights sits on a row of homes.
Yeah.
They had the number 13 and had all of their like black and white photos. So that
Oh,
was
that's sweet.
kind of fun. Yeah. But I was watching the last round and it came down to Nelly Korda and
Mhm.
Hyoju Kim. I hope I said that correctly. Very
Good job.
tongue twister. But they were neck and neck. going into
Yeah,
that final back nine, obviously I was cheering for Nelly because I love
of
Nelly,
course.
but
Yeah.
and there were opportunities there, but it was a nail biter. And I was
Mhm.
looking at the course and it is narrow and there were trees all on the
Yeah.
side. And I was just thinking the whole time my slice would not
No.
love this course. Very,
No.
very narrow. Like you have to spot on hit the
Mhm.
fairways or else you're gonna have trouble getting to the green. But also, this was the first tournament where they had the expanded coverage. So
Yeah.
FM partnered with the LPGA to expand coverage. So they had more cameras, more audio, they had drone coverage, they had these little graphics talking about
Mhm.
storyline. They had a little graphic of Nelly Corder that I saw. And one of the fun facts is that she always has to have 3 T's in her hair. And I was like, oh, that's cool because I put the T's in my ponytail too.
Yeah.
So again, enhancing the storylines and building the
Mhm.
connection to the players, like that seems to be the common theme
Yeah. I mean,
going around in sports.
I didn't watch a ton of the tournament, either of them, the LPGA or the PGA this weekend, but the little that I did watch of the women's, the coverage was so much better. Like,
Yeah,
it
agree.
definitely was. I was like, okay, I'm watching a golf tournament. Like,
Mhm.
n- I feel like in the past, it was very quiet. There wasn't a lot of
Mhm.
talking. I felt like it was the PGA years ago where, like, when I feel like when I was younger, my grandpa used to watch it, and I was
My
like,
aunt too.
all you would do is you put it on and you go to take a nap because
Yeah.
it's very monotone. They're
Mhm.
teeing off on 18, and you just want to sleep. With this extra coverage and with the LPGA making it more like the PGA of you're telling stories and like you said, you're building up that brand. I think not only with the individuals, and names, right? But with just the PGA or LPGA in general,
Yeah,
right? Like they
agree.
want to be able to bring people in who, hey, maybe you don't know a whole lot about the LPGA, but let's enhance your experience to try to
Mhm.
get you to become, a
Fan.
fan and a
Yeah.
repeat customer and all of that. So they're definitely taking the right steps. Because I was
Yeah,
very impressed.
I agree. Yeah, same like when my aunt used to watch golf
Mhm.
tournaments, I would sit there and be like, "How are you watching this?"
Yeah,
Like you said, it's so quiet. Now I am that person who sits on
correct.
the couch on Sunday and watches a golf tournament.
Mhm.
But yeah, to your point, it used to just be so like subdued and boring for lack of better. But now they're doing all these graphics and again enhanced features. One of the things though that stood out to me was they do in-round interviews. Like you know how on the
Mhm.
PGA they have the guys come in like Smiley doing his happy hour and they're doing the
Yeah.
in-round interviews. So they did one with Gabby Lopez, who has been on the
Mhm.
tour for about 10 years now. She's from Mexico. And I don't know the name of the commentator. It was a male. Gabby comes in and he's like, hola. And that was it. I was like, okay, she's Mexican, and you said hola,
Oh my
but
god.
it was just so awkward. And
So
I was
cringy.
like, you could have thrown a como estas too. Like literally just hola. And I think, and it
Me
just
and
like
me.
went quiet. Yeah, it just went, like, quiet for 5 seconds, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's really,
Awkward.
really awkward." Yep.
Oh
So
no.
so I think we could do a little bit better there.
Always have room for improvement.
Yes, but overall, congratulations to the LPGA,
Yes.
and I know the new commissioner, Craig Kessler, is a big part of that and bringing in these new
Mhm.
partners and things like that to enhance the experience. So overall, congratulations and happy to
Yes.
see the enhancements. The ladies will be in Phoenix
Mhm.
next week for the Ford Championship to the PGA, to the world of mans, the
Yeah.
Valspar Championship. Matt Fitzpatrick won
Yeah.
this week after his disappointing second place finish to Captain America Cameron Young last week. Matt Fitzpatrick bounced back
He sure
and
did.
made it through the snake pits and won this week. Yeah, I know. I saw a stat on Friday
Mhm.
where it said that the snake pit was playing 55 over par on Friday. And I don't think the bear trap was that hard, but the snake pit,
It's
apparently
hard.
very hard. Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you. Again, I'm
And one
going to be skipping those holes.
Yeah, and one of the fun things for the Valspar is they got to they got to customize the caddy
Mhm.
bibs, and you sent me the story. Alejandro Tosti, he did an interview too of how it came to be, but the back of his bib said "needs a wife." I guess a couple of the assistants or whatnot were asking him about it.
Mhm.
He was talking about needing a wife, and they were like, "You should put that on your bib." So he did.
I
Nice little ad
wonder
campaign there for a
yeah.
spouse.
I wonder how many phone numbers he got over the weekend. That should have been a
Yeah.
stat.
True. Oh yeah. There's got to be an article out there
There's gotta
somewhere.
be, I'm sure.
Yeah. But there were other fun ones. Sahith Tagala had Juju's fiance on his. There were a couple of college football references.
Mhm.
I think Neil
Again,
Shipley was one.
going back to the college teams,
Yeah.
the
Gotta have that
loyalty.
story, the connection. Yep.
Mhm.
And a lot of the players went to big schools too. They went
Yeah.
to these SEC schools, these Big Ten schools. So there's a lot of loyalty. A lot of them talk about it every week. Like Justin
Mhm.
Thomas will never miss an opportunity to talk about Alabama
Gosh,
when he
no.
has the chance to. So
I mean,
yeah.
Ricky wears orange all the time
Oh yeah, for Oklahoma State.
for
Yeah.
Oklahoma State, yeah.
I will just say I'm so glad that his orange has evolved because when he first
Thank
started
goodness.
doing it, it was a little too much. And orange is not a color that you can finesse. But now
No.
it's like it's nicely blended in, and it's probably the
Yes.
evolution of obviously a branding, but
And he has
it's
a woman's
there,
touch
but it's
now.
more yeah, true. But it's more integrated into the design
Yeah.
now versus him just wearing literally Chester
Like,
Cheeto.
yes. Like, he looked like he was in an orange jumpsuit each week, and that's when he had, like, the long flowy hair, and he was just
Yeah.
like, "Cut it, bro. Cut your hair. Like, have a little bit of a bend in your brim, and, like, maybe throw in a different color orange, and, like, you're good. Let's not
But
overdo
going
it."
Yeah, but going back to the storyline thing, that's one of the
Mhm.
things that Ricky was known for, and that's what
Yeah.
people started following him, and little kids would wear their orange every Sunday to watch him.
Mhm.
In that regard, he did good. Another thing from this tournament, when we were talking about the Genesis week, Victor Hovland and the tree,
Yeah.
there was a similar hole at Innisbrook. It was 14.
Mhm.
And I guess there's a big tree line again on the right side, and I saw JT and Jordan do this, but they tried to hit right again over the tree line very unsuccessfully. They both ended up in the trees. I think Jordan was like near the 15 tee box, but I was
Oops.
just thinking, what are we doing?
No.
Like I didn't see anyone successfully do this shot, and I don't know,
It's
maybe
defeating the purpose of golf. Like,
yeah.
you literally have a fairway and a
Yeah,
green.
hit it down there. Can you imagine when people start, like, hitting all over and it's just, like, balls flying this way and that
Yes.
way?
It's gonna be
Yeah,
a disaster, and I'm gonna get hit with one.
yeah, yep. We're gonna be sitting there and bonk.
Yeah. I just wanted to
But
enjoy my
but can I get a signed
transfusion.
glove? Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of the transfusion, I don't
Mhm.
know if I love them.
That's
I've
fair.
had them a couple times. I think
Yeah.
it's the grapiness of them all. I don't really love the
Yeah.
grape.
That's fair.
Just give me a Tito
I've
soda.
had it with well, yes, of course, Tito soda. I've also had it with cranberry juice instead.
I think I would like
That
that better.
yeah. But no, I mean, transfusions
Yeah.
are
Grape like Ricky's orange is just too strong.
yes.
It's like that it's a very potent
Mhm.
flavor that you can't really mask with
Yeah.
anything else.
There's a bar here in Charlotte that is known for its transfusions, and they have all different kinds, like
Like
different
different, like,
flavors,
flavors.
and so one that
Interesting.
I in college would get because I was like, "Oh, I'm also hydrating." It had blue Gatorade in it.
Like, when I used to drink my vodka Red Bull or vodka Red Bulls, I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
energy drink."
Yeah.
Massive hangover the next day.
Yes.
Just so
Or
sugary.
or I would this is also really bad, taking, like, the emergency or the liquid IV and just, like,
Mm,
mixing it in with my Tito's soda.
no. Don't worry, I won't tell Chris. I won't tell him.
Sorry, Dad.
We'll keep it between you and I and everyone who's listening to this podcast.
If he listens to this and finds out, that's fine.
Yeah. But
XOXO.
I usually don't drink too much on the golf course
No.
anyways,
I can't hit the
unless
ball
I'm just
straight when
like
I'm sober.
yeah. Speaking of which, I played around over the weekend,
Yeah.
and I probably could have lost a hand, maybe two, and snap a club because one of my balls I hit right and it landed on the other side. So here's the tree, here's my ball, here's the cart path. And
Yeah.
I could stand and hit the ball. When I was doing a practice swing, I didn't hit the tree. When I did a full swing, boom, hit the tree on the backswing, boom, hit the tree on the follow through. I've Yeah,
Oop.
I am very surprised I did not hurt my wrist or snap my 5 hybrid.
Yeah, thank goodness you
Everyone
didn't.
is safe. Everyone is
Yeah.
safe.
Marked
But
safe from tree on golf course.
yeah, exactly. But I am very happy with my golf game this year because
Good.
I've been consistently shooting under 50 on the front nine,
That's awesome.
which I'm usually averaging like 52, 53 on the front
Yeah.
nine. But I think I'm getting better at my golf shots and putting myself in better position to get
Mhm.
at least play bogey golf
Yeah,
and
girl.
reduce the sevens, the
Mhm.
double, triple bogeys on the scorecard. So
Well, I feel like you've
season's looking up.
been yeah, and you've been playing more and
Yeah,
practicing
that's true.
more, which
Thank
is
you, San
good.
Diego.
Yeah, seriously. I need to get out there and swing a club so I can start to
Before I
prepare
come,
before you come.
because we're gonna play.
Yeah.
Chad has to look up some courses for us to play. But I think those are the big things in the golf world. And we did receive confirmation that Tiger Woods will be playing in the Masters. His photo is
Mhm.
on the Masters website.
Mhm.
Who knows if he'll play the entire round, but he
I'll
will
be there.
be there. And Rory's documentary on Prime comes
Mm,
out next Monday. So that will get everyone in the warm and fuzzies for the
yeah.
Masters. The Florida swing is over. Thank the Lord,
Goodness.
baby
Get out of
Jesus.
there.
Florida traumatized us enough. We are
Mhm.
headed to Texas for 2 weeks. Next
Yeehaw.
week will be the should have brought our cowboy hats. The Texas Children's in Houston next weekend, and then we have the one in San Antonio, and then we have everyone's favorite weekend besides this past one, the Masters. But us ladies here at In the Cup are going to be taking a little bit of a spring break next week. So, if
Yeah.
you haven't had the opportunity to catch up on all of our previous episodes, now is the time to
Go
take a
back.
listen. Yeah, before we get into the Masters. I can't wait.
I
It's so
know.
great.
I'm very,
Yeah.
very excited. Like, I've already started to think through if we're gonna have people, and I already have, like,
Mm.
my whole menu figured out.
You should do the
So,
Taste of the Masters.
that's
Well, they have well, you could
I do
probably
wanna
make your
do that.
own.
But it comes with the Masters cups and the Masters chips, which are really cute. It's all for the vibe, and it's all
Yeah,
for,
I think you
so
should
we'll
do
see.
it and
Okay.
send pictures.
Probably will.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a break. You guys can catch up. We'll come
Mhm.
back for the greatest weekend in golf
Yeah.
and continue on for I don't know what are we calling it our second quarter of the podcast.
Yes.
And yeah, we want to thank everyone who's joined us so far. It's been a fun ride so far, and Amanda and I have
Yes.
really enjoyed getting on here every week and yapping about all sorts of things.
Yes,
So
it's been fun. Definitely tell your friends, like, subscribe, comment,
share
rate, share, send
do
us a
all the
DM,
things.
all of the things.
Yeah.
If you
We
have
want to hear your thoughts.
topics you want us to talk about, send them over.
Yeah.
We have a script, but usually tend to
We've gotten way off
detour.
script though. I think in the beginning we were like, how is this going to be? And now we just kind
We
of
just yeah.
go. Yep. Exactly. So we hope everyone enjoys their spring break. Again,
Yes.
PSA, take care of each other, be
Mhm.
safe, watch out for your surroundings, just make smart decisions. We'll see you back in a couple of weeks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.